You know, while Americans struggle day to day to put food on their table, Donald Trump and MAGA just continues to double down on their cruelty and their hateful behavior. And it seems to be the only thing they've got going for them these days. They don't have any new and fresh ideas. They never have solutions to any of the problems. For a group of people who does nothing but complain about the problems at hand, they never have a solution other than vote for me and I will make your life great. And then when people's lives don't get better, they just gaslight you and tell you, oh yeah, turkeys were 19 cents cheaper this year. You've got it so much better than you did before. And then they build golden ballrooms and they take $71 million golf trips and they build new bathrooms and they do all the things that everyday hardworking Americans aren't able to afford. It's absolutely ridiculous that we're here, but it's very clear that MAGA is going to continue to double down on their hateful rhetoric. And we'll start at the top with Donald Trump, when a couple of days ago he used the R word to refer to Governor Tim Walz. And then when he was asked about it, what did he do? He doubled down, because at this point in the game, that's all he can do. Take a look.
There's something wrong with Walz out of our country.
MAGA guy did not say post-Jewish and Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find a bit more retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling him retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with it. Absolutely, sure.
You don't think
We have a problem? You know what? I think there's something wrong with it. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into a state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walz.
So yeah, there's something wrong with him. That's what he thinks about mentally challenged people, that there's something wrong with them. It's absolutely disgusting. And it really strikes a nerve with me, and I'm sure it strikes a nerve with so many of y'all when you hear him say this. And there's going to come a day after this is all over. He will be gone one day, but his legacy won't be, and the stain he left on American history won't be. And there's going to be people for the rest of their lives that's going to have to account for the stuff he said and the stuff they were willing to give him a pass for. And to give him a pass for something like that and then watch him double down on it, if at this point in the game they think that's funny, they're not the kind of people that I want to be around or have anything to do with. And I sure don't want to be around someone like Megyn Kelly, who has just absolutely doubled down on her cruelty. I did a video a couple of weeks ago about her response to Jeffrey Epstein and talking about how Epstein really isn't a pedophile because he really didn't go for girls younger. He didn't go for 5-year-olds or 8-year-olds. It was teenagers. It was the barely legal types. And if you thought that was a disgusting take, wait till you hear this one.
So I really do kind of not only want to see them killed in the water, whether they're on the boat or in the water, but I'd really like to see them suffer. I would like Trump and Hegseth to make it last a long time so that they lose a limb and bleed out a little. Like, I'm really having a difficult time ginning up sympathy for these guys who 10 seconds earlier almost got taken out by the initial bomb, but because they managed to get ejected, a little too soon, had to be taken out in the water. I realize legally it may make a difference, but truly, Mark, this is a tough case to really gin up the sympathies of the American people.
Yeah. It's such a disgusting take, but the truth of the matter is it's always been here, folks. It's always been lying there. We may have went through times where people like that got called out before. We may have went through times where they were kind of more on the outside looking in, but they're on the inside now. They're in the mainstream. And the President of the United States, when he acts the way he does, it empowers the Megyn Kellys of the world to act the way that she does, and it's absolutely disgusting. Now, they don't like it when we compare them to Nazis. They don't like it when we compare them in any way to Adolf Hitler. And there's even people on the left who will say, oh, you should never make those comparisons. But yet they always are the ones caught with their hand in the cookie jar. I want to read you an article here from over on MeidasTouch, and I want you to see this because they just continue to double down on this cruelty and this Nazi rhetoric. Why on earth someone would post this, I have no idea. But check this out. So Matt Van Epps, who's running here in Tennessee against Afton Bain in Special Election District 7, his wife, she highlighted Hitler's wife photos. Meg Van Epps, I had never thought about her before or what she must have been like. In 2011, Meg Van Epps, wife of GOP special election candidate Matt Van Epps, tweeted a link to a Yahoo News Upshot article titled "Photos of Hitler's Wife Stir the Web." Writing, new pictures of Hitler's wife just surfaced. I had never thought about her before or what she must have been like. According to the internet article, the article highlighted newly surfaced Life magazine's photos from Eva Braun's personal album, including one with Hitler and another showing Braun in blackface dressed as Al Jolson. What's funny to me is, why would someone want to put that out into the world? I can see seeing photos of Eva Braun and going, is that what she looked like? But why would you put it out into the world that way with that tone? Oh, I always wondered about her. Interesting. It's a way to shame-wash and desensitize people to all of this. And it's so disgusting to see them go down this way. And then when we call it out, we get told that we're doing it only because we're disagreeing with them, or we're trying to win an argument, or we're losing an argument and we're trying to get ahead. It's not the case. We're calling them out because they're always the ones who are caught with this type of crap. And right as I sat down to do this video, I learned of a news story that just shows just how much Trump is doubling down on his cruelty. And I want to read this one too. This one comes to us from MeidasTouch, and it is by J.D. Wolf. So Sabrina Carpenter called out Trump's inhumane agenda. The White House paired sexual position lyrics with images of pinned migrants in an ICE hype video. This is so disgusting that we live in a world where the White House is putting out this type of garbage. The White House ICE hype video not only used Sabrina Carpenter's song Juno without permission, but misrepresented its meaning. The clip looped the lyric, "Have you like this one?" a line that in actual song is sexual in context. "Want to try out freaky positions? Have you ever tried this one?" Look, this is what they shared. This is so disgusting. Now, Sabrina Carpenter chimed in to say, this video is evil and disgusting. Do not ever involve me or my music to benefit your inhumane agenda. Pairing that lyric with footage of federal deportation agents tackling and restraining people made the video even more jarring, especially as it was packaged with a cheerful bye-bye message from the official White House account. Now, I know that we say this is idiocracy, folks, but this is far beyond that. This is so disgusting that the White House would be sharing this type of thing, and that's the type of people that they want to appeal to. But what's happening, the deeper they fall into this stuff, the more people are looking at reality. And reality is Americans are still struggling to put food on their table every day. Reality is Americans are still struggling to take care of their own health, take care of their sick parents, take care of their kids, raise their kids. Life is hard for working Americans. Life is hard for everybody. They're trying to get by in this world. But MAGA just wants to latch on to those culture wars and fight them, because as long as they can keep people fighting those culture wars, then they can control them. That's how I really feel about it. But recently I sat down with Kristi Burke. She is from the YouTube channel Jezebel Vibes here on YouTube. I will tag her channel in the description of this video. I highly recommend her content. We were talking about this very thing, and I loved what she had to say about the way that the Republican Party has just turned into the party of culture wars. Take a look.
And people are looking around and realizing what they're selling is it's not, they're not buying it. And I think it's really interesting that the GOP has kind of just turned into this like sycophant culture war. Like that's all they do is just talk about like bathrooms and culture wars. And they were accusing us for the last, however many years of just talking about trans issues and all this. And we're talking about affordability. We're talking about things that impact every single person in America, being able to afford where they live, being able to afford their health care, being able to put food on the table and actually afford Christmas presents at the same time. So when we talk about those issues, we actually have, the Democrats have policies that support what they're saying, whereas the Republicans have nothing but, we love Trump and Trump is doing great. And the less Americans buy that lie, the less Americans are going to want these people in office.
And I really believe as time goes on, people are going to realize that fighting these culture wars actually got them nowhere. The pendulum always swings, and yeah, it really swung hard back to the right this go around, because everyone latched onto those culture wars so hard and got so caught up in them. But their lives haven't gotten any better. Their lives haven't gotten any easier. And we can bring receipts all day, but the truth of the matter is they have to look at the receipts every day. And they have to see that grocery bill not getting lower. And then they get gaslit by Donald Trump, who tells them now that affordability is a Democratic hoax. I mean, he's went down that rabbit hole now. I'm going to talk more on that in another video coming up. But it's so ridiculous to me that they ran on all these issues, but then they never have a solution to any of them. They never have an idea as to how to go about fixing anything. Their ideas have always been just tearing down something that a progressive put in place and making their rich friends richer. And it's always been that way. It's what's sad about it. It's always been the same vicious cycle our entire lives. No matter how old you are, no matter where you're at in this world, it's been going on that long. I mean, yeah, there's people that definitely, my mom and dad tells me all the time about the 1950s and how back in that day, a guy around here could work at a filling station and just pump gas for people, and he could afford to buy a new home and afford to take his family on vacation. They can remember it, but then once it came down, to our generation and beyond, no one can remember it. And when my son talks to me, he's 25 years old, he's talking to me about how hard he's struggling to get by in this world, and we catch ourselves sometimes saying, well, the math ain't there. It's just not there. There's no way you could survive in this scenario. We're going to have to try something else. That's just how that it's come down. And, it's one thing to get people fighting mad over a culture war and double down on that cruelty, but how far is that going to get them? How far is this going to take them? How long are they going to ride this ridiculous train before they realize it got them nowhere? That's one of the reasons why that whenever I see them fighting these ridiculous culture wars, I always make videos about it. And I know some people say, well, you can't just sit and point to them all the time and say what's wrong with them, but I think we have to, because we just have to keep reminding people, this ain't getting you anywhere. And a couple of years ago, I was saying Kid Rock blowing up his Bud Light is not getting you anywhere. And today, I can still say, cheering on Megyn Kelly for her cruelty is not getting you anywhere. Cheering on Matt Van Epps and his wife is not getting you anywhere. And cheering on Donald Trump has never got you anywhere. So it's just time that we start focusing harder and harder on the issues. And I think at this point, really, the only thing left to do is just sit back and let the Republican Party own this, make them own it. And when this is all over, it's going to be on them. They're going to have to be the ones that lives with it. They're going to have to be the ones that explains it for the rest of their life. And I wouldn't want to be in their boat for nothing. It would have to be a miserable place to be to know that you've always got to go to bat for the absolute worst. You have to go to bat for the absolute worst of ideas. And it should have never been that way. It should have never came to this, but unfortunately it has. So, again, be sure to check out Kristi's channel. It is Jezebel Vibes. I will tag it in the description of this video. I will also have the full interview up on my Patreon and over on YouTube members only. Had a great conversation with her, so I highly recommend her content. Be sure to check it out. And thank you all so much for subscribing to what I do. Be sure and hit that button. A lot of people have told me they thought they were subscribed and then they were unsubscribed. So just be sure you're subscribed, because there's a lot of crazy things happens out there in the world of social media. And there's people that I could have swore I was subscribed to, and then one day looked and I wasn't and had to resubscribe. So go ahead and hit that button if you want to, if you like this type of content. And I just appreciate your all support, and we'll keep pushing forward, and we'll keep calling out all the craziness in this world. And at this point, that's a full-time job.